Please welcome 70s singing sensation, Leo Sayer. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, hey. Yeah, it's called Just a Box.
Yes.
It says Just a Box. 162 tracks. It's a life in here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I'm looking forward to the next 40 years, though.
Yes.
That's 40 years' work, basically, yeah, from when I started.
The complete studio recordings.
Yeah.
So,
fun putting it together as well.
But you're a choir boy. Is that how you started into music?
I was. I was a Catholic boy, and there was a wonderful parish priest, Father Dermot MacHale, an Irish priest, and he took me under his wing and he basically taught me how to sing. I was in the choir anyway, but he said, I think you've got a special voice. And he had one of those magic voices, and I said, if I could speak and sing like you, so I kind of followed him. And he taught me to sing from the stomach, you know, the whole diaphragm, like opera singers do. So I ended up having this powerful voice all the way through my childhood. I mean, if we were in a sort of a train station or an airport later on and somebody's bag, you know, had fallen over, I was the guy who could shout, "Pick it up!" You know, I had the loudest voice. So
does this
always
make you
useful.
look at some of the youngsters coming along nowadays and think you're producing your voice from the wrong place?
No, I think some of them do. You know, the funny thing is a lot of people try and impersonate someone when they're singing, a favourite singer. So they end up, and that's all in the throat. And you can just hear them really kind of really quiet like that, you know. But mostly, the standard of singing these days actually is quite amazing. It's incredible how karaoke has kind of opened up people's talent, and they're better than you think. It's a bit stylised.
It's interesting hearing somebody say that, because most people, the older stars, are quite scathing of the modern ones.
Look, I'm not a big fan of the TV shows, and everybody knows that. You know, we've all had our reasons for it, for saying that. I mean, I do still think that somebody should actually go to a live venue and sing in it and get some real feedback from the crowd, because that's how you really learn quickly. And sometimes on TV, you know, on those shows, you know, you've got all your family and friends out in the audience all looking at you, and they're all naturally going to say, you're great. So I don't think you really know. So reality is slightly suspended, and that's a shame.
Your reality took you out to Australia, where you are now, because you were born Shoreham, I think, weren't you?
Shoreham by Sea in Sussex, between Worthing and Brighton,
So
like on the clip.
What made you go to Australia?
My manager, Adam Faith, who put me there in the first place, was a wonderful guy, and he really had a vision of me conquering the world. He had this sort of Fu Manchu idea, you know, that it wasn't just going to be Britain, it was going to be the whole world, total world domination. So we went to America first, and America was fantastic, of course, and, you know, in those days I used to do the Pierrot, the white face makeup, and we would do, you know, many shows in clubs. So we would do like a week in Memphis, a week in Boston. So I was there for quite a long time. But America, in a way, and ironically, I moved there later, felt very sort of chained up. You know, there were things that you could do, but the freedoms weren't quite the same. But I went to Australia straight afterwards, and it was just incredible because, you know, you ask somebody, say, I want to go, as it was called then, it's called Uluru now, the Ayers Rock, you know, the big red rock. I say, I want to go to Ayers Rock, and say, well, it's just over there, mate. I mean, just go. So everything was really easy, and I love that kind of free and easy thing, and that's what I experience now that I live in Australia. Everything is just in front of you. Nobody makes a big deal. People are just very straightforward.
Do you like that? Because you've had your share of Beatlemania and stuff, and, you know, I was
at the start of my career, it was crazy in Australia.
Yeah.
It was the one place I think there was Sayer mania going everywhere. So it was kind of crazy. I was locked in hotel rooms, couldn't get out, and every now and then a bunch of girls would come over in a cherry picker to the hotel, you know, window, and they'd see us and they go, "Love you, Leo," you know. So I kind of had that experience.
You must miss it hugely.
No, not at all. No. I've just been on a cruise ship, funny enough, and I've been sailing, and you're sailing with 2,000 of your biggest fans out of Australia.
Wow.
And every moment you leave the cabin, they're there. And I'm a little bit of a backroom boy, you see. I write my own songs, I produce my own records, I have my own studio at home, and I'm working on new albums ready almost for release next year at the moment. So I'm always working in the back room, so I kind of forget that I'm Leo Sayer some days, and then somebody rudely reminds me. You know.
Is that the bit you like best then, rather than
I really
going out
do.
on tour?
I'm kind of proud of being a creator of music, and I've always been proud. And I'm kind of in that box set. I'm proud that 85% are my own songs. You know, that's what really makes me Yeah, it makes me tick.
Do you always like it when other people take them and do cover versions?
Yeah, it's really nice, because, and it's so flattering, because I really don't write for anybody else. I only write for myself. I'm one of those terribly self-centred kind of singer-songwriters who can only really feel my own passion. So when Dolly Parton or Tina Turner or Phil Collins has sung my songs before, Celine Dion, you know, it's like a real honour. And sometimes, you know, funny enough, Celine Dion called me. She sang When I Need You, which I didn't write. And, you know, When I Need You, and there's so many different versions. She said, Mr. Sayer, she said, call me Leo. She said, would you mind if I sang your song? I said, well, it's not my song. She said, well, I thought it was, the way you sing it. And that's very flattering, because I think you try and put yourself into everything you do, you know.
Well, you put yourself certainly into all of yours. 162 of them in the box. For details...
And we're off on a tour as well.
You're touring as well?
All over the UK.
Oh,
so just about to start. Yeah,
Excellent.
come and see us.
Go and see you on tour. Are you going to promise to do all 162 every night?
We will do 162 songs every night at 1,000 miles an hour.
Time now for our next guest. Now, he is a man who, like Joan, has always been very fashion conscious.
Yes.
There he is. Nice braces.
Like Joan, again, has always kept a very well-managed bonnet.
Oh, it's beautiful. But unlike Joan, he's never been great at applying his own makeup.
Bless him. Here he is at work.
You make me feel like dancing. I wanna dance the night away. You make me feel like dancing. I'm gonna dance the night away. When I need you, I just close my eyes and I'm with you. And I feel thunder in my heart that I just can't control.
Oh, that's...
Oh.
Please welcome Leo Sayer.
Come on, Leo. Good to see you, mate. Oh, well.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Isn't this
Thank you
lovely?
very much.
So, first of
Joan,
all...
you look amazing.
Thank you, Leo. So do you.
Fantastic.
Well, you don't look too bad yourself,
Thank
either,
you.
Leo.
Thank you.
Now, we have to say, congratulations. 40 years in music to Leo Sayer. Eh? So many albums, so many singles.
Yeah. It's extraordinary. Suddenly you wake up and there it is. There's a date, isn't there? And it's like really scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you think anniversaries kind of come around, but it's a shock, really.
And here they all
It's a
are.
good shock.
But you were 12.
That's right. And you know, a couple of films as well that Joan did, I'm doing the music in as well.
Oh,
The
right.
Stud, yeah.
Of
we had.
course,
You
The
made me feel like
Stud,
dancing.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's why when we came on, I started dancing.
Jackie's stories,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's not just thrown together, this show.
Oh, no.
I mean, we know the connection.
Connections,
Yeah.
yeah.
We used to see each other travelling transatlantic, didn't we?
Yes.
I was living in Los Angeles. You
Yeah.
were as well.
Yeah.
And we both, you know, used to be friendly with BA, the airline. So, you know, we'd often see
Yes.
ourselves on the...
Most frequent flyer in first class, I think was your headline, wasn't it, Joan?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I loved that. Yes, I
Those
did
were
an
good
ad
days
for
to
them,
fly,
and-
weren't they?
Yes,
Yeah, I
and
did
you
an ad
got
for them as
dressed
well.
up.
Robert
Listen, when
Morley,
they get
so do you
together, the
remember
pair of
that?
them never shut
Robert
up.
We'll just do our own
Right.
show, sorry.
I did. Robert Morley, I'm sorry. No.
All the
I do, yeah, I
albums.
work with him.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, there we are. All the albums are in here. There's absolutely... See,
Oh,
Joan,
how
you check it out.
fabulous.
Have a
There's
thumb
all
for it.
of
Oh, I
these.
want
There you
it.
are.
I'll sign it for you, Joan.
And you actually designed the cover.
Yes, I
didn't
did it
you,
all.
yourself?
I did it all. It was a bit of a labour of love.
Yeah,
And,
so
I
you used to be a graphic designer then back in the day.
I used to do album covers, and that's what I did before I became a singer. So, you know, I
Wow.
did covers for Bob Marley and people like that. It was all fun.
Amazing.
So it kind of came in useful.
Actually,
as
I
it were,
love
something
that
you can
makeup.
use.
I think it's great.
That was the
think-
Pierrot.
Yeah, Pierrot, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know.
It was based on a movie, a French movie, and there was a character in it, and I loved this character when I was at art school. And I saw it, and somebody had said, you know, how do you see yourself? And I looked at a picture, and I just said, like that. So he knew a guy who dressed like that. I went to the studio, suddenly dressed up, and looked in the mirror, and it just worked. Yeah. And it made people listen to the words of the songs, which was great.
But the other thing that just works is, of course, your incredible head.
Barnet, yeah, and I don't know how I've done it. I'm 65 now, and I'm quite proud of that.
Yeah, I bet you are.
But I've still
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah,
But Paul
absolutely.
McCartney had a bit of a connection with that, did he not?
He certainly did, yes. I was managed by Adam Faith, and Adam Faith kind of discovered me. And one of the first things he did when we met, he said, right, we're going to go and have lunch. So we went to the RAC Club in Pall Mall, wonderful place. And we sat down there, and there was a surprise person because we were in this private room. and the door opens and out walks Paul McCartney. Guy, can you imagine? You know, you don't know Sir Paul McCartney. He wasn't Sir then, of course.
But it's Paul McCartney.
But he walks in and he sat down. He said, "Right, what do you want to know, lad?" So I kind of, you know, I went through all the questions like you do, and he told me nothing. But he said, "I'll give you one piece of advice: don't cut your hair."
Oh,
Don't cut your hair. And years later, I'm walking through LA and I'm in Sunset Boulevard and, you know, life's changed completely. And a car pulls up, a Mercedes beside me, and it's him. Get in, get in. And I'm thinking, what? It's Paul McCartney.
He's abducting me.
Yeah, just get in. So we got in and he said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Tower Records, where we used to all go and buy records.
Yeah.
So we go in there together and he said, you did one thing great. And I said, what was that? He said, you took my advice.
Oh.
And I couldn't remember, you know, I said, you didn't cut your hair.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Brilliant.
That was the only thing he could tell me.
Look how
He said
many
I couldn't tell you
albums
anything
off the
else.
back of
Is that all your albums?
162 songs on there, John.
What?
It's been a life.
162
I mean,
songs.
some people would say, is this so much as a too much Leo Sayer?
Well, I don't know, really. I mean,
Yeah.
I've enjoyed every minute. What I'm proud of is that they're all different. We managed to make a lot of different records.
Yeah.
You know, they're very, very different sounding records, very different techniques. And I'm proud that I wrote most of it, which is great, you know.
Well,
So you are
and the next
excited.
40 years are going to be even better. Because there's a new album on the way.
Yeah.
And it's
Touring, I mean, you're touring all over the place.
We're doing a tour of the UK, yeah, all the way through November,
Yeah.
which we're really looking forward to.
Good lads. Well,
Joan,
good to see
you
back
have
in the
this
room.
copy,
Are you
look.
doing London?
We are. We're going to do the Troxy in London, which is wonderful. Do come down.
I will.
Yeah, well, if you want to get your hands on this, Leo's complete studio recordings box, Just a Box, is available Monday, and the UK tour, as we were just talking there, starts in Limerick from the 1st of November.
Yeah, the trick really is to get all of these back in the box. Anyway,
Yes.
so we're talking about invention.
There's a competition in there. Yes, that's an invention. That's
It is in itself.
Yes.
So on the show today, we've got 3 new inventions.
My dad was an inventor.
Well, that's
Did
what
you
we were
know
gonna
that?
say, yeah.
Yeah, no, he invented a thermostat for an electric kettle in about 1935 or so.
Really?
But he forgot to patent it. You know, you've got to do these things. You ever see that US pat-off? Well, that's the US Patent Office.
Yeah.
So he failed to get the invention in time, and they told him, I said, unfortunately, Mr. Hoover, who's actually, later on he did the vacuum cleaner, of course.
Yeah,
and Mr. Hoover has done it before you. So
Did he have hair like you?
Well, we
Because I
could have
imagine
been
as an
rich.
inventor he'd...
Think about it. We could have been millionaires.